Hey, friends. Okay, here we are. It is week 2 of January 2025. And this year we're focused on bloom, rooted in love, growing in strength. And last week, if we could just do a synopsis, our focus was on embracing the start. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but the courage to take that step starts within. So if you're starting this year's podcast at week 2, you want to go back and listen to week 1 because it begins the process of working through what it is you want to accomplish over the next 12 months. It begins the process of identifying ways and giving yourself grace as you work to challenge yourself to start something by taking that first single step and having the courage to see yourself through. Now it's time for week 2. Are we ready? Are our minds alert? Are we focused? Do we have our notepads there waiting for us and being willing to take the time to focus on week 2, which is overcoming doubt? You know, one of the biggest challenges that people tend to have, based on my experience, is because they can't see through every aspect of a goal that they're achieving. They can't see the end result, that it's hard to take that first step. That we don't trust ourselves. We don't feel we have the strength to get through it because it's very foggy. So think about, as you're walking in a park and it is the middle of the summer and all of the trees have grown out. And you may be going on a half-mile or a 1-mile walk, but if you're walking a trail that's in the middle of the forest, you can't see the end of it. Do you stop or do you keep walking? Even though sometimes your trail may come off a little bit because trees fall, it rains a little bit, someone creates another path with the same end result, you trust that process, right? You know that the trail is going to end at a destination and you may gear off a little bit. However, you trust the process. And I want us to think of that concept as we talk about overcoming the doubt of accomplishing our goals, as we focus on ways that we need to incorporate into our everyday so that doubt isn't number one. So let's start today with understanding why we have doubt. Let's talk about fear, that big F word that I don't really like. But what are the fears and uncertainties that you face when starting something new? I challenge you to write down one thing that may discourage you from starting something that you want to accomplish in your dreams. Is it the fear of failure? Is it the fear that you won't have the support that you need to accomplish the task? Is it the fear that you don't have the skill set that is needed to get it done? Is it that you've had a previous experience of working towards a goal only to smack yourself up against the wall when you didn't get it accomplished? So now you believe that you can't do that? That because that was the experience of something you tried in the past, that is going to be the same process that you go through each time you accomplish something? We need to understand why we doubt ourselves so much and why, as individuals, we are the first person to doubt ourselves before anyone else. And then we need to think about how we can accomplish those tasks or get past the fear that we have by understanding what is needed to overcome the fear and take that first step. Take a moment to think about that. What are the reasons why you doubt yourself or you're hesitant about taking the first step in accomplishing something new. Write it down. It's time to be honest with ourselves as to why we hold ourselves back. As you do that, I want to give the example of anyone who has had kids. As parents, it is our responsibility to be there as a support system for our kids in every step of the process. It starts before they're even born and introduced into this world. We are automatically given as a part of our human nature the ability to comfort our kids during each step in the process. As simple as learning how to keep their pacifier in their mouth, learning how to nurse from their mom, learning how to crawl, learning how to take that first step as a baby. Think about how you have been able to instill in your child the ability to take the first step and help them to remove the fear that happens during each step of growth as an individual. If you have older kids, just think about each time you've had to change the way you've given them the power to remove their fear and go forward in doing something that is the unknown for them. As they come out of their infant years and go into their toddler stages, when they fall and it hurts them, but as parents, we encourage them to get up and try again. The first day of school, whether it's kindergarten, middle school, high school, college, their very first job, dealing with individuals that are sometimes mean and how they get past that. Getting to make friends, learning how to make friends, getting over their first heartbreak, understanding that life is full of doubts and challenges. As you think about any situation that you've been through, whether it's with raising your own kids or just being there as a source of comfort for someone in your life, think about how you help them with the power of perspective. How you help them to move past the fear and walk into an opportunity for growth. It's the same way when we're setting our goals. We're quick to add fear in the path of achieving a goal, and it becomes a barrier for growth. But how do we utilize the power of perspective and change our mind and the way we think? Stepping into the unknown can be something that is exhilarating for you. As a person who has had to learn different concepts of life, it's the power of perspective that has helped me a lot. Becoming a life coach was something that I inspired to be after sharing stories of how I've learned how to heal and grow. That taught me that I have a skill set to move forward. That things that I've learned, I want to share with others. But being a life coach isn't just a title. I know that I have to share stories of my real life experiences to help people in understanding that they too can get through it by changing their perspective, by working through the healing process of dealing with any fears or doubts that we have embedded in ourselves, whether it's something that we naturally give ourselves or it's something that we learn as a part of the process from years of working through generational curses or challenges that others have had to deal with. The power of perspective is important in preparing yourself and understanding what strategies are there to assist you with overcoming fear. Visualize yourself with that one goal that you've accomplished and allow yourself to see it as successful. If my one goal every day is to wake up every morning, and before I open my eyes, I say a prayer to set the pace of my day. I have to visualize that through exercises. I've been doing it over and over again. And yes, my prayer changes every day. But now I've done it so many times that my mind automatically says, "Oop, the alarm goes off." Before you open your eyes, say your prayer of positivity. Embrace yourself with whatever has been going on mentally over the past day or so, and ask for assistance in having a different mindset. Each time I take the step to say a simple prayer, regardless of the length, but to say a simple prayer and be honest with myself, I am taking the actionable step I need to move in the direction that I want to be in. Being a life coach, right? For years, I've been a leader when it comes to my professional career, but being a life coach is different. It's not just about me. But I know that it's easy to get overwhelmed if I don't make little small steps to help me in understanding how to achieve what it is I want to accomplish. I may not know the end result of where I am on this journey. However, I know by taking a step to move me in the right direction, it helps me in not feeling as though I'm overwhelmed. Even if there's the unknown, we have goals, but we don't always know how we're going to get to the end result. Identify step by step what are the many big goals. One big goal is taking the first step. What's the second big goal when you're thinking about what you want to accomplish? How do you get there? Make sure that as you're working to accomplish that goal, you break it up into bite-sized pieces so that you're not overwhelmed. And if you find that you're becoming overwhelmed because you're giving yourself tasks that are too big, it's okay to reset. It's okay to go back to the drawing board and say, how do I do this in a way that it doesn't become overwhelming and I drop the goal? I stop trying. I stop looking forward to it. I stop working to achieve the task at hand. Write little things that are affirmations to help you in empowering yourself so that you don't have self-doubt. As simple as saying to yourself, "Great job, Shy." Doing a reflection, looking back on what you were able to accomplish and give yourself a round of applause. There's this thing called a self-care jar. And I read a little exercise that you can do instead of every time you want to remind yourself about self-care that you write it down and you put it on a piece of paper and you put it in a jar. Do the same thing with achievements. That each week, each month, as you reflect on what you've been able to accomplish, write down those accomplishments on a piece of paper and put it in a jar and leave it there. And when you're feeling doubtful, when you're feeling as though you can't accomplish what is needed, you go to that jar and you pull out those pieces of paper and you start to remind yourself of how far you've come. With the first thing being taking the first step. That is your way of ensuring that you are surrounding yourself with positivity so that you can accomplish things that you want to accomplish. And when you feel discouraged, you have a way of reminding yourself that you're doing a great job. You have a way of reminding yourself that it's okay to have hiccups, things to challenge you along the way. But then you brush yourself off and you keep going and you keep trying the task and you make them more manageable so you don't get discouraged and you don't get overwhelmed. It's also important to understand that when you're working towards goals and you want to accomplish things and you have that question in your mind, I don't know how I'm going to be able to accomplish this, that you look for people that can be true, honest, and supportive friends. Not just anybody. Don't go telling everybody the things that you're focused on accomplishing because everybody isn't your friend. Everyone can't be your support system. Everyone won't understand the whys behind your wants. However, there are true people that can be there and encourage you and believe in you. And honestly, that's been my biggest challenge along the way. I've had to learn how to trust people. I've had to learn how to open up my mind and heart to listen to the feedback of those who really have my best interests at heart. We all know it, that sometimes it's our friends and family that won't support us and they won't pour positivity into our minds. Sometimes we have to give those people grace because they don't know. But you'll know when you find someone who can be a true mentor or accountability partner for you. You'll feel it in your gut. You'll feel it in how they speak to you. You'll feel it in how they support you in the different ways that they're able to support you, with the understanding that everyone won't support you the entire way through your process. Some people can support you in the beginning. Some people can be your cheerleader in the middle part of the process. Some people can just be the listening ear, but not be able to tell you exactly what to do to get through what you're feeling at that point. But it's understanding that by embedding into our process of goal setting and learning how to be better versions of ourselves, that it helps to identify who can be a mentor and talk to them about how you need them to be there, how you'll appreciate their support, or what it is that you need for someone to hold you accountable. Speak it intentionally so people know and understand. And should you get to a point where that relationship or what you thought you needed isn't there anymore, it's okay to respectfully say, thank you for all you've done to support me thus far. Because as we grow, we learn, right? So I challenge you guys as you're working through all of the tasks you have at hand, overcoming the fear of setting a goal and working through the process, that you also task yourself with who can be there through this process that I can lean on when I need them, that can listen to me when I'm having a challenge, that can help me understand, okay, based on your experience and what I've seen you accomplish, what do you think about this? Or that can just listen to you when you're having a day where you need to express yourself. And when all else fails, remember that you are your biggest critic. Remember, you are your biggest critic. That sometimes it helps to jot things down to help you stay on task, to help you understand your feelings, to help you remind yourself how to applaud yourself when doing a great job. And as you move through this process, remember, you are not focused on perfection. We're humans. It is more important that we focus on the progress than getting everything right. That's why we have detours in the road. That's why we have do-overs. That's why people do New Year's resolutions, because guess what? They usually start in that same task all over again, year over year. And that's okay. You reward yourselves for the effort, no matter how small. You make a step in the right direction each time, even if you have to take a detour to the right, a detour to the left, or to start all over again. The goal is that you understand that you're celebrating the courage to take the step each and every time. That your goal should not be perfection, because we're humans. We're not perfect people. It's all about overcoming fear to take your first step. It's about being strategic about what you want to do, but giving yourself grace and mercy as you work through that process. It's about understanding that fear can be common, that we are human and we sometimes doubt ourselves. But the best thing is to look at the power of perspective, to look at positivity, to look at ways to overcome fear that we know works for us, or by asking people who can be there, who've experienced their own challenges that align with your goals, and seek the assistance with holding you accountable. And celebrate the ability to be courageous through the process and not work towards perfection. So as we round out week 2, I have a challenge for you. Identify one thing that you know on your list that you've been hesitant to start, and commit to taking a step forward over this next week. It might be as simple as writing down the goal and what your next step is. But as you write down what your next step is, give yourself a due date. And remember, every goal doesn't have to be big. You know, I'm really interested as you listen to this. It would be great if you would share. You can comment, write some comments on this podcast, but share with me how you've been able to take that first step, how you've been able to identify the goals. If you need assistance, reach out to me and talk to me about what it is to have an accountability partner, what it is to set goals. How do you create a goal cloud of what you want to accomplish and prioritize what is needed? Friends, we're on this journey together. It's 2025 and it's the season of bloom. It's the season of making sure that we put our best foot forward in being authentically us, that we give ourselves grace and mercy through the process, that we understand that this is a journey. It is a journey of growth. It is a journey of self-care. It is a journey of being honest with ourselves about where we strive to be in the process. I believe in you. And if I believe in you, I need you to believe in yourself. Until next time, friends, ensure to focus on your goals, work through your homework, share some feedback, and do what you need to do to focus on you. Talk to you next week. Thank you for listening to Heal You. At Creatively Shy, we're here to inspire self-care, self-love, and healing by sharing real-life lessons and tools to help you pursue your dreams. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Creatively Shy, SHAI, for more positivity and updates. Want to support the show? Subscribe and click the support link at the bottom of this podcast to help us keep bringing you empowering content. And remember, your healing starts here. See you next time.